This is the story told in the Book of Tobit. Tobit had always believed that faith was something you carried quietly, like a weight you chose not to set down. Long before exile ever reached him, he had watched people learn how to forget who they were, not all at once, but in small, careful steps. He did not argue with them. He did not try to stand above them. He simply kept walking the way he had been taught, even when that path became lonely. When he was taken to Nineveh, he entered a city that did not remember his God and did not pause for the dead. It was a city that ran on order and fear, where bodies could be left in the streets as warnings and where people learned very quickly how to look away. By day, Tobit worked and kept his household alive. By night, when the streets emptied and doors were shut, he went out alone. He went looking for the bodies of his people. He did not rush. He did not pretend it was easy. He lifted the dead with his own hands, feeling the cold weight of them, the stiffness that comes when life has already gone. He carried them away from open places. He dug into the earth. He covered them. He whispered prayers that no one else dared to speak aloud. Every time he did this, he knew he might not return home, and every time he went anyway. For a while the city did not stop him. Then one day it did. His position was taken. His possessions were seized. He was forced to hide himself, but hiding did not change who he was. When another body appeared in the open, Tobit still rose from his table and went out again to bury the dead. It was as if he had already accepted the cost, and once that acceptance was made, fear lost its power over him. That night, exhausted beyond words, he returned home, ate quietly, and lay down near the courtyard wall. He did not see the birds nesting above him. He did not hear them stir. While he slept, their droppings fell into his eyes. At first it was only irritation, then it became pain, then it became something that did not go away. People were called, remedies were tried, some burned, some failed. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into years. Light slowly withdrew from his world until it was gone completely. Tobit was blind. Blindness changed everything. He could no longer move through the house without counting steps. He listened for familiar sounds. He waited for voices. The walls of his life seemed closer now. His wife Anna became the one who carried the weight of providing for them, weaving cloth for others while Tobit remained inside, hearing the world continue without him. One day Anna returned with more than her usual wage. A young goat had been given to her as a gift. Tobit heard the animal before he understood it. Something tight and bitter rose in him, not because he truly believed his wife would steal, but because blindness had made him feel small, dependent and exposed. The words came out sharp and wrong. He accused her. The room went quiet in a way that hurt more than shouting. Anna answered him with a pain she had carried too long. She reminded him that his righteousness had not protected them from exile, from hunger or from shame. Then she left him alone in the house. Tobit sat there in the silence she left behind. He wept, and then he prayed. He did not ask to see again. He did not ask for justice. He asked only that his life be taken quietly, so he would no longer be a burden to anyone. At that same moment, far away in another land, Sarah was praying the same prayer. Sarah had learned to measure time in grief. 7 times she had been married. 7 times her husbands had died before the marriage could be completed. Each time, joy had risen and collapsed in the space of a single night. Servants whispered when she passed. Some looked at her with pity, some with fear, some with blame. It felt as if death followed her into every room. One day, the weight of it became too much. Alone, she prepared to commit homicide. But as she stood there, she thought of her father and the shame her death would bring him. She could not add that to his sorrow. She set aside what she had prepared and prayed instead. She asked for death, not in anger but in exhaustion. Both prayers rose. They were heard. not with thunder, not with a voice from the sky, but with movement. When Tobit remembered money he had once left in trust in a distant land, he decided to send his son Tobias to retrieve it. A guide appeared and offered to travel with him. Tobias agreed, not knowing how much more than money he was being sent to find. The road was long. At the river, Tobias bent down to wash his feet, and the calm of the moment broke when a great fish surged from the water and attacked him. Fear took over before thought could. The struggle was sudden and clumsy, but it ended with the fish pulled onto the bank, its body still, its threat gone. Parts of it were kept, though Tobias did not yet understand why. He only knew he had been told they would matter later. The journey led him not only toward the money he sought, but toward a house shaped by years of restrained grief. When he arrived at Sarah's home, he was welcomed with the careful hospitality of a man who had learned how fragile joy could be. Her father had prepared too many weddings that turned into funerals. He had learned to speak gently to hope. When Tobias spoke of marriage, the house did not fill with celebration. It filled with silence. Fear moved through the room, quietly. Sarah's father tried to warn him, not out of cruelty, but out of memory. He had buried 7 sons-in-law. He did not want to dig another grave. But Tobias did not turn away. So the marriage was not treated like a dream. It was treated like a matter of law. A contract was prepared. Witnesses were involved, not because love was absent, but because order was the only shield this house still trusted. And then, quietly, without announcement, a grave was prepared. Not because anyone wished for death, because this family had learned to expect it. That night, the house moved carefully, as if even footsteps might disturb something fragile. Tobias did not rush. He did not treat the moment like conquest. He did what he had been instructed to do. He burned what he had been told to burn. He prayed before acting. He asked not for pleasure but for protection, not for triumph but for mercy. The darkness that had followed Sarah for so long did not remain. Morning came. Sarah was alive. Her father rose early, not with hope, but with dread, and went toward the chamber expecting grief. When he found them both living, something in him finally broke open. The grave that had been prepared was filled back in. Earth that had been opened for mourning was closed again. The house, which had learned to breathe shallowly for years, began to breathe fully again. And then something changed in the way the house moved. Not cautiously, not quietly, but with relief that needed sound and food and voices. The wedding was no longer a single meal. It became days of celebration, not restrained, not careful, as if they were trying to make up for every stolen wedding before this one. The house filled with guests, with blessing, with laughter that sometimes broke into tears without warning. Sarah's father did not want the moment to pass too quickly, as if holding it longer might protect it from being taken away. But as the days went on, another weight began to grow inside Tobias. His father, blind, waiting, listening for footsteps that had not yet returned. Joy and duty pulled him in different directions, and eventually Tobias began to plead to leave, not out of ingratitude, not out of impatience, but because love does not forget where it came from. At first, Sarah's father resisted, not because he wished to keep him, but because fear still whispered that joy leaves too quickly. But Tobias kept insisting, and in the end, a righteous man could not hold a son away from his father forever. When he finally agreed, he did not send them away lightly. He gave them half of everything he owned, not a token gift. Half, servants, livestock, goods, wealth, as if he were dividing his own life in two to honor the fact that his daughter's life had been given back to her. He blessed them and sent them on their way, not as a man who expected loss, but as one who had finally been allowed to hope again. When Tobias returned home, Tobit heard his voice before he saw his face. The sound alone carried more meaning than sight ever could in that moment. The remedy was applied to his eyes. The healing did not rush. White films peeled away slowly. Light returned gently, as if even sight itself were being careful with him. Tobit could see again. Gratitude overflowed, and with it came the desire to reward the guide who had been with them from the beginning. That was when the truth was finally spoken. The guide revealed who he was. Not a man, not a traveler, but a messenger sent in response to prayer. He told them that he did not eat as humans eat, and that he did not accept payment. He reminded them that prayer is heard, and that acts of mercy matter more than people realize. He told them that he had been sent to heal, to guide, and to set things right. And then, before they could say more, he rose. Not running, not vanishing, he ascended, and he was gone. The blind could see. The grieving could rest. The long pattern of death had been broken. And the story ends the way many sacred stories do. Not with a noise, not with spectacle, but with life continuing and silence returning.